Hi everyone, this is Kareen and I am doing an in-between video because I wanted to do a 10 things about me video. I've seen other videos that do 15, but I thought 10 was enough. Some of this you might know. So I'm going to start, but I haven't weighed myself since last Friday? Yeah, last Friday. So I don't know what I weigh, but today I had a protein naked juice today. Oh man, that did not do good. I had dumping like you wouldn't believe, the whole wanting to throw up and the whole thing. So I'm not going to eat those things anymore. Shakes are just not my thing. I'm just going to stick with my protein and stick with my vegetables, and I'm able to eat chili, so I'm sticking with my chili. So yeah, those things are nasty. They just do not go down in me at all good. I don't know what it is, but my system will not accept that kind of stuff. And so I'm just going to stay away from it. It was pretty bad this morning. I had cramps and the whole thing. So, done with those. All right, so to get on to this, I'm so glad to see Jody back. That was such a nice video that you put out, and I've watched Living on the Lighter Side. I've watched her too. I've caught up to all her videos now, so or all your videos, Jan, and so I've caught up with those, and I'm gonna start watching a couple new ones just to see, just to check out some other people's videos. But I haven't. I'm missing my friends. I also watched one from Mini-Me, or not Mini-Me, Melly May. And so I'm really glad to see that you're working on the plastics and maybe talking about a revision of some of it. So I guess this is not a perfect science. I mean, we just kind of do what we do and hope for the best. All right. And so anyway, so 10 things about me that you may not have known. Number 1, I'm an artist and I teach art to students. This last year I taught to a one-room schoolhouse with one teacher, 8 grades, but 5 students. And that was really fun. We had a good time. We learned about drawing and some painting, and it was just kind of fun. I really enjoy it. When I lived in Hutchinson, Minnesota, I worked at the Hutchinson Center for the Arts, and we actually had camp in the summertime, week long. And we had themes. So our first theme was Jackson Pollock, where you got to throw paint all over, and the kids thought that was great, but we had paint all over, literally. And then the second year we did Chihuly, and Chihuly is the one that has all that blown glass art. And so like at the Minneapolis Institute of Arts, they had this huge chandelier made by Chihuly. If you check out Chihuly online, he's got some fantastic stuff. I've seen some in ponds and gardens, and man, I think that would be so cool to do. So we did that, and we had fun doing that. Now, with this situation this year, I just was teaching basic drawing and basic watercolor painting, and next year I hope to do it again. And I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we might do some 3D, maybe work with some clay and see if I can get the local clay place here to fire them for us. So I have to check that out. Anyway, so I'm an artist and I teach art, and I've done community ed courses over the 25 years, 30 years that I've taught in the community also. I haven't been doing any of those lately because I moved here 3 years ago and people just don't know me yet, and so whenever I offer a class, nobody really signs up. So I'll wait a little while before I do that again. Okay, so number 2, I'm also a photographer. Before I moved from Hutchinson, I actually was starting to do high school photography. And excuse my shirt, this is my junkie shirt. This is the shirt that I wear when I just want to crash at home. And I was actually cleaning my girlfriend's house today, so I just feel like, ugh. So I took my clothes, or my work clothes off, and I put this on, so excuse my junkie shirt. This is actually belonged to the lady who passed away. And she gave this to me about 20 years ago when it was 4 times too big, but I wear it around the house a lot, and I just love it. It's just comfy. Anyway, okay, so back to photography. So I was taking high school senior pictures, and I was taking some bridal photos, and I've been taking some family pictures. I love taking pictures of people, but I don't have a lot of models, and so I don't have access to a lot of models, so I do mostly wildlife, flowers, nature, sceneries. I wish I could insert it, but I don't know how to do that. So if you guys know how I can insert pictures into a video, that would be helpful. I don't even know how to do that. Maybe I'll figure it out down the line, but anyway, so, and I love photography. My camera goes everywhere with me. People used to say they don't see me without seeing my camera, and I'm actually saving money right now to get a new camera because my old one probably, I've had it for 6 years now, and it is time for a new one. So I've been saving my dollars and my cents, and I think I have $1,200 saved so far. And it's in the bank waiting for me to choose camera and to choose the lens that I want. And I think I'm going to stick with a Nikon because I already have Nikon stuff. So I just don't know which one I'm going to get yet. That's part of the fun. It's all the research. So, all right. Third, I have 3 kids. My oldest is 34. My second is just turned 32. And my youngest is 23. And I have then number 4 would be I have 5 grandchildren. I have 3 with my oldest daughter, 2 boys and a girl. And I have 2 with my second daughter, 2 girls. And those are the ones that I watch when their dad is working. So next week I will be getting them again every day. He's going to work down in the cities, and so I will have the girls back again. And I'm hoping I can get the stuff I need to get done and still have the girls. So they just keep me on my toes, and they're just adorable little children. I mean, I just love them all so much. Number 5, I live in Judy Garland's, or Frances Gumm, which is her original name, hometown of Grand Rapids, Minnesota. So we have the Judy Garland Festival here. We have the Judy Garland Museum, that is her old house, or the house that they lived in. The theater that she performed in is here in town. I don't think it's open anymore. I think it's just office buildings now. And so that's a huge thing for Grand Rapids. We have the little yellow brick road down by the Central School. And this is also the place where one of the pairs of the ruby slippers was stolen several years back, and they still have not found them. So somebody has those slippers, and nobody knows where they are. So that's an interesting thing. Number 6, I should have put this with the kids, but I've been married to the same guy for 35 years. We got married when we were really young. I was 19, he was 18. Yeah. I had to remember for a minute there. Oh, that's so young. I can't even imagine. Anyway, so, yeah, we were really young, but he is still my best friend, and we love spending time together. And we had a rough period after my dad's death and during my depression, which was really bad. I was suicidal at one point, so I had counseling, and he went to counseling with me, and we got over that hump. And I'll tell you, if you have issues in your marriage and you don't go to counseling, it's your own fault. Unless there is abuse, physical abuse or mental abuse that is not fixable, you need to go to counseling, because the other side of that is absolutely wonderful. You grow together, you learn together, you adjust together, you start reacting to each other differently based on what you've learned. And so I'll tell you this, it is worth $1 zillion to get that counseling and work it out with your spouse. Work it out. It is so worth it. These people who are throwing their marriages away after a year, 2 years, and not working on it, I don't understand it. This is the person that you decided to marry and spend the whole rest of your life with. Work it out. There is nothing in this world, except for physical abuse and extreme mental abuse, that you can't work out if both of you are willing to work it out. And that is my testimony, believe me, because I thought it was going to be over, but it wasn't. He was willing, I was willing, and we both wanted it to work. And as a result, even if he didn't want to, I was going to still get the help. In fact, I went to counseling for 6 months before he even went to counseling with me, because I figured there was something going on with me first, and I needed to fix that before we could fix the two of us. So work it out. I highly recommend it, because, oh my goodness, we have so much fun together. And even though there's times when I still get angry at him and I get frustrated, I understand he's a human being. He's going to fail. I'm going to fail. We're going to slip back into our old habits. But if we can be forgiving and understanding and accept that. And sometimes the best thing you can do is when you've been wronged is to approach that person and apologize for whatever it is, or approach that person and say, I forgive you, whatever it is, because just sometimes reaching out is all that it takes. Anyway, enough of the preaching, but I'll tell you this, our marriage is so much better because of that. And I never hesitate to tell somebody, work it out. If you are two sane individuals and are willing to work it out, you will be so happy on the other side of that conflict. So happy. Anyway, okay. So 35 years I've been married to the man, and I still love him. And so number 7, I am the second oldest of 6 kids, but my older sister died at 47 due to complications of diabetes. She was overweight. She had diabetes. She lost the function of her kidneys the spring after my father passed away from diabetes. And she was on dialysis for 7 years. And according to what we were told, they took her off of the dialysis machine twice in a row because she said she had to have a bowel movement. And when they do that, they can't put them back on. And so the toxins in her system built up to so much that it actually killed her. So she woke up one night, sat on the edge of her bed, and my littlest sister, the one that was 10 years younger than her, actually found her the next morning, and she had passed away during the night. That was the hardest thing I've ever gone through, because she should not have died at 47, not from diabetes. Had she had VSG or something like that, that may not have happened. So I miss her extremely a lot. I don't like being the oldest now. I liked having that older sister to blame, but I don't have her anymore. And so please, if you know somebody who is diabetic and is not taking care of themselves, get them to a doctor. Get them to somebody that can help them. And if you have to do something as drastic as the VSG, like I did, to prevent getting it, then please do it, because you can't replace that person. Anyway, okay, on to the next one. The next 3 are kind of interesting. I went to a 1-room schoolhouse. 1 room, 1 teacher, 8 grades, and I did that for 6 years. So I went 1 through 5th, and then I went to public school for 1 year, and then back to church school for the 7th grade year, and then I went back to public school. And I'll tell you this, you can't replace that kind of an education. There's just no way. If you know of a 1-room schoolhouse somewhere close to you, get your kids out of public school and put them in the 1-room school. I highly recommend it. I learned in 1st grade, 3rd grade math. I learned in 2nd grade, 5th grade English. I mean, there's constant interaction between everybody in that classroom. Oh, and we had such a good teacher. She was such a cute little thing. She was about 4'10", and she had the whitest hair possible. And we just loved her to death. And so I know that's what I'm teaching art at right now, and those kids are getting a good education. And in the Seventh-day Adventist school system, we are the 2nd largest private school system in the world, and we have the highest amount of doctors come out of our schools. So public school is not the best place for your kid if you want them to advance and to get the education that you really want. And if somebody says something about social aspect of it, we have more social stuff going on. It is so worth getting your kids out of public school to put them into a private school. And if you have to work to pay for that bill, then do it, because it's worth it. All right, off my boxes now. Last 2. I have never, ever drank coffee, never tried it, never going to try it. I figure I'm not going to start something that I'll have to quit later on because it's not good for me. It's a stimulant, and it dehydrates your body. My mom never drank coffee. My dad drank coffee with my grandfather, but my mom never did. We drank Postum growing up and hot chocolate if we wanted some, and tea if we wanted it. But I was given tea when I was sick, so I associate tea with sickness, so I don't like tea. So I've never, ever drank coffee. In fact, I don't even like mocha because it tastes like coffee. Now, that's not to say I don't like the smell of coffee, because the smell of coffee is pretty cool. I like the smell. When I walk through in the aisles in the grocery store, that smells really cool. So I'd rather smell coffee than drink it ever. And then I have only drank 1 glass of champagne. It was really bad champagne in my life. We tried it on our first anniversary. I thought, I'll just give it a try. I couldn't get my head off the pillow the next day, and I felt sick, and I said, why would anybody do this again? And so I've never touched it since. And actually, when my husband and I met and we knew we were serious, he quit drinking completely. So we don't drink here at all. And as far as I know, my kids don't drink either, which is wonderful, because we wanted to be the example. And so if we didn't want our kids to be drinking, then we figured we better not drink. That's the same reason we wore seatbelts, by the way. Because if we were going to have them be in seatbelts, because when I had my first child, they were just coming out with car seats for kids, and we decided that if we wanted to teach our kids to be in a seatbelt, then we needed to be in a seatbelt ourselves. So now it's just an automatic thing. And so when they made it a law, it was like, we've already been doing it. So it wasn't a big deal. So anyway, those are the 10 things about me you may not have known. If you have any questions about all of those, then please comment below, and if you haven't subscribed to me yet, subscribe and like my videos. And this was kind of fun to do. It was not focusing so much on my weight, and I kind of like that. So I'm at that stage though in my weight loss where I think I would say I'm on a stall, but I haven't weighed myself, so I don't know. I just feel like my mind is catching up with my body, if you know what that means. So I knew I was losing weight, and I was recognizing, thin arms and that kind of stuff. And now it's almost like, okay, now I'm used to it. So now I'm hoping for another couple pounds off. But I am still struggling with the liquids or the liquid shakes, and so I won't be drinking those anymore. And my nutritionist said I didn't have to, so I'm going to stick with my chicken, my chili, my burritos, not burritos, just the beans, because I like just the beans. And I'm just going to stick with that for now, and then go from there, because I'm just going to eat the safe foods. I've been eating wheat thins. They told me I could have wheat thins, so I bought these multi-grain ones. Oops, that's backwards. Multi-grain ones, and so but I eat about 5 of them and I'm full, so I haven't really been eating those. But anyway, all right. And so I'm glad that Jody, you're back. I really was wondering about you, and I'm glad that Mini-Me, I've watched all your videos, and I've caught up on those, and Living on the Lighter Side of Life, I've caught up to yours, and Melly May, I've caught up with yours, and so it's fun to catch up with everybody. And so I'm going to start catching up with the rest of the ones that I've saved and I haven't watched because I've been busy. I try to start a new one every day. When I've been working at this house that I've been cleaning up from my friend who passed away, I've been actually playing them on my iPad so I can catch up to them, and I have somebody's talking and it's not so quiet in there because I'm from a big family. If there's not noise, I kind of look around and go, where is the noise? So anyway, all right, this is at 18 minutes already, and thank you guys all so much for your comment. Minnesota, Lori in Minnesota. I'm glad I saw your video too, so that was nice for you to comment on my video. One of these days we'll just have to meet up. I know I've got a couple other people in Minnesota that I'd like to meet up with, so maybe we should have a Minnesota meeting or a Minnesota meetup somewhere. That'd be kind of fun. Okay, I'm gonna get going. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye. I'm gonna turn it off.